Well, hello everyone, and thank you and welcome back to my channel, Jackie Wilson Speaks. And so today's video is going to be about the 8 reasons why people have issues with healing. I'm going to share this with you after a breakup, why they have issues with healing. So the first one that I'm going to say is the reason why people have issues with healing after they've gone through a breakup is because the first thing is they're feeling defined by that relationship. They're feeling as though that relationship ended. It took a part of them from that relationship. They gave a lot into that relationship, they may be thinking, and they're feeling exhausted. Like, I put so much time and effort into that relationship because I thought the relationship was going to work. And the relationship didn't work. And so they're feeling defined by that. Well, I put so much time and effort in there. I gave everything I could. And look what happened. The person cheated on me, or maybe they were abusive to me, or maybe that person just didn't want to be in a relationship with me. So now I'm feeling a certain kind of way, like, well, what's wrong with me? Because that relationship didn't work and I put everything into there. So that person is feeling defined by that relationship. If they're not feeling defined by that relationship, then that person is feeling unhappy. Something about themselves is making them feel unhappy. Maybe they're not happy with, the kind of person that they are, or maybe with things that they may want to accomplish in life, and they're feeling like, well, it's not working for me right now. So it's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. I gave everything I had in that relationship, and now it's like, well, what's left with me? What can I do for myself? Because when we lose our identity in those relationships that we put so much effort in, then when we leave from that relationship, we're feeling a little overwhelmed. We're feeling exhausted. We're feeling like, well, where do I fit in? What can I do for me? Because we've been so much me for that individual, right? Or give for that person. So then we leave away from there and we're like, well, what do I do? Where do I go next? Okay. So then that person is feeling like, well, they're not happy with who they are. So that's a time when that person has to find out about their self-esteem, right? They have to go into practicing self-love, self-care in order for them to rebuild themselves. So that's another reason why individuals, as far as when a relationship ends, they're feeling lost. Like, what should I do? Okay. If they're not feeling lost, then another thing is that individual is bothered by that rejection. Okay, they've taken it so personal. Instead of looking at the whole totality of that relationship, they take it personal, like it's something directed towards me. There's something wrong with me, the reason this person didn't want to stay in a relationship with me. So they're taking it very personal instead of looking at the totality of the relationship. What happened? Was this a healthy relationship? Was it an unhealthy relationship? Did the person cheat? Did you cheat? What happened in that situation? Look at the facts and don't just take it so personal. So that's another reason why a person would take a longer time, I'll say, as well, for them to heal. Why they don't think it's important to heal. That's what this topic is about. What are the 8 reasons why individuals don't feel like it's important for them to go through a healing? Because majority of the time when they leave from these relationships, they're still emotionally connected to that relationship. Okay, so moving forward is like out of the question. I'm still hurting from this relationship. I'm still pulling from emotionally from that person. I'm still connected emotionally with that person. So everything about me being single is affecting me because of this relationship. And they're looking at previous relationships too, but this relationship didn't work, this one didn't work, and now I'm single again. Okay, so they've continued to stay connected emotionally, and so the rejection is bothering them as well. That's another one. The rejection is bothering that individual. So once they've been rejected, like I said before, they're taking that personal. Okay, so it's the rejection, it's the feeling less than. Well, what am I going to do now? How do I rebuild my life back together? All I know is being in this relationship with this person, especially if they've been in this relationship for any length of time. They're going to be thinking, how do I move forward? How do I build my life back together when I'm so still connected to this person? And they may not say they're connected. They may not use those kind of words, but they'll keep talking about, well, in this relationship with that person, with this person, these are things that you'll hear. And that'll let you know that that person is still emotionally connected. So they're feeling less than, like, well, there's nothing left for me. What am I supposed to do? Who am I? How can I build myself up? Okay. So those are some other good reasons. They'll also look at they don't believe in therapy. So that's another one. It's like, well, why would I go to therapy? I don't need therapy. I'm going to be fine. We're not in a relationship. I'll get over him. I'll get over her. It'll just take some time. These are some things that you will hear because they don't feel the need to go for therapy in these different situations of why that relationship ended. Sometimes therapy is necessary, especially if it's an abusive relationship. It's a if it's a relationship that lasted, for any length of time, I want to say over 5 or 6 years, and you guys have dealt with some up and down emotional things, even if you've been in a relationship for a year, it can be a very emotional relationship that you've gone through. And sometimes just talking to someone that is not biased, right? And that's not a family member, somebody that don't know you, someone that can come in and give you a different perspective is always a good person to be able to talk to. You may only have to go one time to talk to that person, and they can give you some pointers, or maybe twice, right? Maybe once or twice to go talk to somebody. And they can give you pointers on how to move forward, okay? How to help you in the area of where you need it the most. So it doesn't mean you got to go to see a therapist for a long period of time, but this is what stops individuals from going and getting the therapy that they need or getting the healing that they need, is because they think, I don't need therapy. I'm fine. I'm not. Therapy is for people that don't have it all. You'll hear this. This is what happened in my generation, right? I heard that a lot. Well, if you go to therapy, that means something's wrong with you upstairs, okay? Mentally, something's wrong with you. This is what they would say, which is hogwash, okay? And that's an old saying, but it's hogwash. So at any rate, those are some other reasons why individuals would probably feel that way about not healing. And then another thing is they don't want to admit to the pain, okay? Who wants to admit to the person you were in a relationship with, he dogged you out, he cheated on you, or, he was abusive to you? Most people don't want to talk about the pain that they went through. So because they don't want to talk about the pain that they went through, therefore, they're not going to see going to therapy as a way to help them get out of that situation. They're just going to think, well, I'm not in that situation anymore. It's over with. It's done. It's time for me to move on. That's what they're going to look at. And that's not a healthy way to end a relationship and to be able to move on with your life, is to have that type of mindset. Because like I said, we all are humans. We all need to talk. We all need to vent. We all need to be able to release that emotional stress and pain that we've been carrying, the burden that we've been carrying. We all need an outlet for that. Sometimes you may not have a family member or a friend that you can talk to, or a coworker that you can talk to about that relationship, especially if you've shared a lot of information throughout the relationship with these individuals. Then after that, you probably don't want to share anymore with them about how you're feeling emotionally, because 9 times out of 10, especially if it didn't end right, you don't want to hear any negative comments that they're going to say. You don't want to hear them say, well, girl, why are you still stressed out about him or her? I'd be over that. You don't want to hear that kind of talk. So that's why it's so important for you to consider going to talk to a therapist. So that way you can get that information off of your chest. Or if you're in church, go and talk to someone at the church that you feel that you can trust, right? Go and talk to one of the counselors at the church and share that information with them and see what they can give you as far as guidance to help you through that process. You can even call me. I'm a counselor. Not a counselor. I'm sorry. I'm a life recovery coach. I'm sorry. You can give me, most people say I should be a counselor, but you can give me a call and I can share information with you as well. You can talk to any other coaches, so it doesn't necessarily have to be me, but just something to kind of think about, okay? There are people out there that would be willing to give you objective, non-biased advice to help you move forward through whatever it is that you may find yourself dealing with, okay? Now, another thing is the person may feel embarrassed, to share that information with their family or friend about what happened in that relationship, to be able to get some kind of advice to be able to move on, right? So you may feel embarrassed, like, well, I can't share that information with them because they knew everything that was going on, and now they're going to have something negative to say, about me. And it's like, okay, so what do I do now? I can't say anything. So you keep it to yourself. You can even journal. I would say that start journaling. That can help you to release those emotional thoughts that you have that are running through, that are keeping you maybe stuck emotionally attached to this person, or maybe just having you feeling like, you just feeling a little down, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling a little hopeless, because it's like, well, I was with this person for X amount of years and now I'm single. How do I do life being single when I'm so used to being with somebody else, right? with this other person. So those are some things that you can, just some things to think about, okay, as you're going through this process now. So I think we might be up to maybe what, 7. So let me see. No, we didn't talk about the one about they just don't want to be alone. Okay, you just don't want to be by yourself. So I know I've kind of given you these probably a little out of order, so don't worry about the order. But in terms of, the next one I want to share with you is you just don't want to be alone. Okay. Some people just don't want to be without a mate. This is what defines them. This is what makes them. This is what makes them feel happy, is to have a relationship, is to be in a relationship with someone, especially when they have friends that are having parties, getting married, celebrating anniversaries, and they're, hey, bring your significant other, bring your 1+1, and it's like, okay, well, I'm single. I don't have nobody to bring. So sometimes people just don't want to be alone. They don't like the idea of being by themselves. Now, me, I'm a different person. I can be happy by myself and I can be happy with someone. A lot of people don't have that. They're not able to do that. They have to be with someone. So if you find yourself in that situation where you feel like you have to be with a person, that's when you really need to look at taking some time for yourself. So now let's kind of go back over and share a little bit more about these 8 topics, that 8 points that I mentioned about why people don't heal. So now I know I mentioned about, they don't believe in therapy. They don't want to admit to the emotional pain. They feel, unhappy by themselves, right? They're not sure what to do with their life. That relationship has actually defined them, right? So they're feeling more defined by that relationship. They're feeling a little rejection. They don't know how to deal with that rejection. So for them, they're feeling, as a part of that as well, they're feeling a little less than, okay? I'm not I don't know who I am, or, I'm not wanted, nobody wants to love me. Then you start hearing these type of comments that person will make. It can also be that individual may feel embarrassed. We talked about that, right? Being by themselves and other people knowing, hey, this relationship ended and how it ended. So that person can feel that way. Then the main thing is they just don't want to be alone. Okay, so those are the 8 points that I mentioned about why individuals don't see the need to go and heal, because of these different 8 points that I've just shared with you today. Now, out of everything that I shared with you today, these would be reasons why an individual would jump right back into another relationship, because they don't want to feel any of the pain, any of the rejection, feeling unhappy, feeling alone, they don't want to feel any of this. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to have to go through explaining anything. They don't want to go to therapy. So these are some reasons why, these 8 reasons that I just mentioned to you, would be why an individual would quickly jump into another relationship, okay? So whatever you do, don't let that be you, okay? So go back over, look at this video again so you can write down these important points, check it out and see what's going on in your life, and see if any of these points, if they happen to, resonate with you. And if they do, then you need a little bit more time to work on your self-love and your self-care, okay? And with that being said, you can always reach out to me by email. You can reach out to me through the comment section as well over here. And also go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you can get the notifications as well, okay? And with that being said, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys when you got it on the next video. Until then, bye-bye.